On today's Amateur Market Minute, Jeff Bezos just sent a clear message to Elon Musk and SpaceX that Blue Origin will not sit idly by and watch SpaceX reign dominance over the space industry, which is why Blue Origin, they're raising billions of dollars in order to compete with SpaceX directly. Also, Meta and Mark Zuckerberg just announced that their AI strategy is failing. And a lot more we're going to be covering in this video. Let us get into our first story. When people hear the words space industry, they think about SpaceX, they think about Elon Musk. But what a lot of people don't know is that Jeff Bezos founded Blue Origin right around the same time Elon Musk founded SpaceX. And SpaceX recently went public and raised over $85 billion. And Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin saw that and said that was enough. It's time for us to do something if we are really gonna compete with SpaceX. So Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin decided to raise a whole bunch of money. And here we have the evidence where Bezos' rocket company, Blue Origin, is raising $10 billion at a whopping $130 billion valuation, reports CNBC. Bezos will personally plow $2 billion into the deal. Another $4 billion will come from Kotu, and the company is actively seeking investors to fill the rest of the round. And the reason why this is important, this move is a major shift for Blue Origin, which Bezos founded in 2000 and has previously funded itself largely by selling Amazon stock. In a May 2020 interview with CNBC, Bezos said that the company was beginning to consider outside capital. So Bezos founded this company in 2000, Blue Origin, and he funded it by himself, primarily by selling Amazon stocks. And now Bezos, they're realizing that if they're going to compete with SpaceX, what they need to do, they need to bring in additional funds. And here we have Bezos in that earlier interview where he was considering bringing in outside investors.
We finally have enough visibility into our future and our financial success that, you know, I've funded Blue out of my own by selling Amazon stock to fund Blue. But it's a good time actually to start thinking about the future and bring on some other outside investors. So we're considering that.
So it's not happened yet.
It has not happened yet.
That was Jeff Bezos announcing that he's not realistically going to be able to fund Blue Origin by himself and that he's going to need outside investors. And another reason why Blue Origin, they need more money, they need to raise money, is because one of Blue Origin's rocket, the New Glenn rocket, exploded during a test in Florida in May. And the company has an aggressive goal to return to flight by the end of this year. So one of their rockets actually blew up on the pad, and it was a pretty expensive mishap for Blue Origin. And the deal to raise money, to raise that $10 billion, comes at a hot time for space technology, where Elon Musk's SpaceX went public in June, raising $86 billion in the largest public offering to date. And also we have another space company as well, Rocket Lab, also recently acquired Iridium Communications, a satellite communications provider, in an $8 billion deal. It's a bet that the newly combined company can chew into some of Starlink's dominance. And Starlink is basically this communication platform for SpaceX where they have tens of thousands of satellites in space, and you get low latency and you can essentially connect to the internet from wherever you are. And this is basically what Blue Origin and the rest of the space industry is trying to target, because this is where SpaceX is making a lot of their money. But it is hard to say right now if any of these companies will be able to catch up to SpaceX, because SpaceX have been doing it for such a long time, and their manufacturing process is so different from companies like Blue Origin and Rocket Lab, which is, it is a good thing that Jeff Bezos is making this move to raise this money in order to invest back in their business and build out their manufacturing capabilities. But let us move on to our next story. Now, Meta and Mark Zuckerberg isn't really having a good time, because after spending billions of dollars on artificial intelligence and replacing thousands of employees with AI, Mark Zuckerberg is now admitting that their AI strategy isn't really working out. And we have this reporting highlighting what's going on.
Orson joins us now with more. Hi.
Hey, Scott, some headlines leaking out from a Meta internal town hall. They're being reported by Reuters right now. Reuters saying that Zuckerberg said that the 2026 reorganization of the company wasn't as clean as it could have been, and also saying this internal town hall that AI agent development over the last 4 months has not accelerated in the way we expected. This is a continuation of some commentary we've heard from him in the past. He said that in this town hall, according to this report in Reuters, that top executives were worried in early 2026 that we weren't going to move fast enough, and that the bets the company made on its reorganization have not come to fruition just yet.
Now, let us try to understand why Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, they're failing at AI. Considering a large company like Meta, such a huge company that spends billions of dollars on AI, they have fired thousands of people, right, to replace them with AI. Let's try to understand why they're failing. And we have the evidence right here that explains that Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is struggling to keep his AI team together. As morale is hitting rock bottom, his company is heavily reliant on its competitors' AI models to build out its own in-house tools. And despite the many billions of dollars the company has spent in its failing effort to keep up in the AI race, even Zuckerberg himself is now acknowledging that progress is nowhere near where he wanted to be. And despite being a more established tech company, Meta has struggled to keep pace in the generative AI space, where Mark Zuckerberg himself has described Meta's pivot as a reboot, noting the company has spent billions to poach talent and build its super intelligence lab, which is less than a year old. Meta recently released MuSpark, its first large language model since investing $14 billion in Scale AI. Zuckerberg said he was pleased with progress, but admitted he now expects more. So in other words, Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, they are spending heavily on AI, and they basically have nothing to show for it, because the one large language model that they released, MuSpark, even Zuckerberg himself, as the head of the company, isn't pleased with this product. And he's looking for more after spending billions of dollars, over $14 billion, and stealing employees from other companies to build out their super intelligence lab. And here I have this to show you where the company, that is Meta, is borrowing like crazy to build massive data centers to train AI models that are unlikely to ever catch up to the frontier labs. Meta doesn't have the kind of enterprise businesses that Anthropic or OpenAI have built, which require a huge number of tokens, nor does it seem like it wants to become a cloud service provider like AWS, Google, or Microsoft. And what this is saying right here is that Meta, they're spending all this money to create all these data centers to create their own large language models, but those models aren't going to be as good as OpenAI's or Anthropic's, and they don't have the enterprise businesses in place where they can offer these models to other businesses. They just don't have that. And it seems as if they don't want to go into the cloud storage business where these data centers could hold data for other folks, basically. So at this point, no one knows what's going on with Meta or what their strategy is, which is causing a lot of confusion at their company, which is why we have this where it says executives and employees alike are grappling with a chaotic AI strategy, according to sources and internal discussions reviewed by Wired. The confusion spans everything from workforce restructuring to a fundamental philosophical question about whether Meta's AI models should remain open source or shift toward proprietary closed systems. So basically what this is saying is that executives and employees alike, everyone throughout the company, is confused about the chaotic AI strategy over there at Meta. But despite all of this, Mark Zuckerberg still remains optimistic about their AI strategy. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Meta will succeed with their AI goals? And let me know what you think about Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin trying to compete or make a comeback in the space race. Also, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I'm a new creator, and I would really appreciate it if you would support me by liking and subscribing to the channel, especially if you want these daily business updates. Thank you.